Raindrops are falling on my head, and just like the guy's feet are too big for his bed.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, released in 1969 and is directed by George Roy Hill, who's directed such other pictures like Thoroughly Modern Millie, The Sting, and Slapshot. And this film stars Paul Newman, Robert Redford, and Catherine Ross. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid are the leaders of the outlaw group The Hole in the Wall Gang, and they're famous for pulling off bank robberies and train heists. However, one train heist doesn't go so well, and the two become wanted fugitives. And this is one of those movies that's hailed always as just an American classic. You will find it on a ton of top 100 classic films ever released. Heck, even the Sundance Film Festival is named after Robert Redford's character, the Sundance Kid. So growing up and growing my knowledge just on the film community, everyone talked about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, one of the greatest westerns ever made. And this is my second time viewing it. I watched it several years ago, and I gotta be honest, I don't remember a ton about it other than the final, 10 minutes. And watching it again for this review, I have to be honest, this film didn't really cry out to me in any way. It's not terrible by any means, but it just wasn't communicating with me. But let me start off by saying that you can't deny the chemistry that Paul Newman and Robert Redford have. Whenever they're on screen and they're bantering back and forth, you can't help but be fixated on what they're saying, just be hypnotized by just how good looking they are and just the dialogue that they're saying, and the charm that they produce just by saying words, and also how they portray these characters' mindsets, because they get into a lot of sticky situations where they are probably thinking they're not going to make it out of this. But these characters are so intelligent and so witty that the witty dialogue and the witty banter just keeps happening. And that type of wit, that type of banter, it's almost now a requirement in any type of action sequence or action movie. You can have scenes where it's punchy or gun blast, but if the characters aren't exuding some type of humorous or character flaw that allows them to be witty and have a banter back and forth between each other, the audience kind of checks itself out, or at least they separate themselves more when it comes to the movie and to those characters. And without Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid having that conversation back and forth while all the violence and all the craziness is going on around them, I don't think this film would have been a success as it was, at least in the later years. The film wasn't really liked when it originally came out, but it developed a cult following, and then everyone just decided, hey, this film is actually just amazing. Which again, truthfully, I do not understand. You take out these actors, you take out that dialogue, and this story is very simple and very cut and dry, very boring, actually. These characters are bank robbers, and that's what they do, and that's what they were doing for the first third or maybe the first half of this movie, just robbing trains and robbing banks and riding bicycles to weird 60s music for some reason. And then when they get caught and they're on the run, they run all the way to Bolivia, where they still continue the same profession because they think they would have more success down there. So as I'm talking about this, I think I realized the issue that I have here is that these characters really don't go through any type of change. If anything, these characters are trying to resist that change as much as possible. Because the essence that I get from this film is really about holding on to your roots and hanging on to tradition and trying to fight against change or really evolution. Because like I said at the beginning, Butch Cassidy, he's riding a bike around and it's all joyous and hey, this is really, really cool, but I like the horse that I have. I like the lifestyle that I have. So at a certain point in the movie, he takes that bicycle and chucks it into the river. And I took it metaphorically, like giving the middle finger to society, saying, no, I'm not going to change for you. I'm going to stay solid and firm in my ways. Because I also feel that this was the time where the Westerns started to kind of die off, or at least they weren't the popular genre to go to the movies to watch. So whatever your viewpoints on that mindset, that philosophy, that metaphor, at least that I'm picking up in this movie, whatever your mindset is on that, good for you. It's just, if you want this film to be an example of that mindset, well, it kind of bites them in the ass in the end. They go down shooting, let's just say that. But again, even when they are going down shooting, they are still continuing their smart wit and smart banter. Which if I was younger and I was a movie fan growing up around this time, the late 60s and the 70s, I'd be like, oh my god, give me more of Paul Newman and Robert Redford as a duo in film. And this duo is typically hailed as one of the best movie duels of all time, but we typically don't see these two actors on screen together. They did this movie, they did The Sting, and then they did another movie in the 90s, so we didn't get a lot of these two on screen, unfortunately. But when we do get them on screen, it's absolute magic. If you are going to watch this movie, watch it solely for these two actors. They're charming, they have great dialogue, they have great banter with each other, in the midst of a bunch of fun action scenes where a bunch of guys are trying to shoot each other. And if you're not a fan of the Western genre, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I still think that this film is a nice introduction to that genre. Because it doesn't give you a ton of the stereotypical ideas when it comes to Westerns. Shootouts, saloons, that type of thing. It doesn't have that in here. So I'm gonna give Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid 2.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I found that if you have a goal, that you might not reach it. But if you don't have one, then you are never disappointed. And I gotta tell you, it feels phenomenal.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my videos where I randomly select which movie I'm going to be watching next, so let's take a look. Okay, I Kill Giants! I picked this Blu-ray up for Black Friday once. I have never watched it, I saw the poster and it looks really cool, and from what I know about it, it is based on a graphic novel, which I have not read. But like I said, the poster looks really cool, so I am actually very interested and very excited to see it. So we'll check that out next time. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, please leave your comment below this video or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter. Leave your recommendation there. If I've had access to it, I will watch, review it, and give you a shout out on the channel. So guys, if you've seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And if you like what you saw here, and if you like people talking about movies and reviewing movies, hit that subscribe button. It would help me out tremendously. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2019. We are almost halfway through the year. Sadly, time just flies by. But tell your friends, tell your family, anyone who's a movie fan, send them over to Caleb Watches Movies and hit that subscribe button. And as a reward for hitting 1,000 subscribers, if we hit it, I will torture myself, and it's gonna be just a blast for you. I will torture myself watching Arachnophobia. And of course, I will record my reactions doing so. So everyone, I will see you next time with my review of I Kill Giants. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.